Eno's words resonate deeply with me, though I often use theological language to express my own sense of how our vision pulls us forward. In theological terms, the long now requires faith, which I describe as the leap of moral imagination that connects the world as it is to the world as it might become. As I've often said before, I believe this faith can be bolstered by the idea of a God who is the source of possibility. The long now begins as a dream, a leap of the moral imagination that inexorably pulls us forward. Without a dream of rescue, the phoenix never gets lowered. Without a dream of discovery, the wagon train never heads off. Without a dream, we merely do the old work, maybe with a better attitude, or maybe not. Today is a good time to talk about the long now. We launch our 2010-2011 annual giving campaign and head off together. The question is, to where? What's the lush land of the middle border for us? What's our dream of rescue? When the celebrated American writer Herman Melville was writing Moby Dick a century and a half ago, he was a member of All Souls. He sat in the back pew. Over the years, he observed how the members of All Souls changed our city, our nation, and our faith for the better. During the Civil War-era ministry of Henry Whitney Bellows, this congregation played a pivotal role in healing the battlefield wounds of Northern and Southern soldiers by helping create the organization that eventually became the Red Cross. Bellows also healed a Unitarian rift between conservative New Englanders and free-thinking Westerners by creating the Unitarian Ministers Association. For good reason, Melville once called All Souls the prow of the world. What would Melville see if he stood on the prow of the world today? He would see a world polarized by religion. It's divided between two contradictory camps. One camp is filled with people who believe a supernatural God has handed them a divine revelation that is uniquely true and supersedes all other sources of knowledge. For this camp, religion is the means by which they obey the commands of God. The other camp is filled with people who believe the supernatural God does not exist, and therefore religion is always pointless and often dangerous. Both camps are 100% half right. The religionists are right about the importance of religion, and the atheists are right that God is not supernatural. What the world needs today is a faith that insists on the necessity of religion and conceives of a God that children of the Enlightenment can believe in. Our need for God and religion is greater today than it has ever been. Religion is the process of taking everything we know about the universe into account as we create a life of meaning and purpose within it. In order to play this new role, religion must adapt, and our understanding of God must adapt as well. The great religious challenge of our time is adapting religion to the reality that God is not supernatural. Some of you recall being in this sanctuary several years ago when Diana Eck, a professor at Harvard and one of the world's leading scholars of religion, preached the sermon at my installation as senior minister of All Souls. She said to us on that occasion, "Galen and members of this congregation, you have a theological orientation toward the oneness and mystery of God that is essential for the world of religious difference in which we live. You are, in my estimation, the church of the new millennium. In this era, Unitarian Universalism is not the lowest common denominator, but the highest common calling. You do have a mission. The world is in need of your theology." 2 weeks ago, Denise Taft Davidoff stood in this pulpit and renewed this urgent plea. Denny has arguably been the most active and influential lay leader in our denomination for the past quarter century. We have the unexpected pleasure of having Denny worship with us this morning. In her sermon, Denny noted with anguish that Unitarian Universalism in America is in decline. She then turned to us at All Souls and said, "Perhaps you are not as aware of your power, your prestige, your place in Unitarian Universalism as you need to be," she said. "Or maybe you are aware and are afraid to step up to the plate." Then came her plea. "Do me a favor," she asked. "Begin to see how necessary it is that All Souls find some room on your agenda and in your hearts for rescuing Unitarian Universalism." What does the Church of the New Millennium look like? In many ways, it looks a lot like the Church of the Old Millennium. It's a place where lives are transformed. It's where we welcome people who are lonely and comfort people who are bereft and guide people who have lost their way. It's where we celebrate the calm of our sanctuary and the beauty of our music and the depth of our commitment to education and the breadth of our effort to reach out to a needy world. But the Church of the New Millennium must also solve the problem of what it means to believe in God and practice religion in the modern world. The religions of the book, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, cling to an untenable idea of God and an outmoded practice of religion, while many moderns spurn God and religion altogether. Many Unitarian Universalists, by the way, are thoroughly modern in this sense as well, dismissive of God and skeptical of religion. Hence, I believe, our denominational decline, and hence the crisis. The Church of the New Millennium will adapt to a new understanding of God and embrace the necessity of religion. In so doing, it will address the religious problem of modernity and, along the way, rescue Unitarian Universalism. The long now is a dream of what we can offer a needy and broken world, a world divided by religion and bereft of a God we can believe in. To this vision and to this congregation that can make it come true, and to the God who holds us all in a divine embrace, I commit myself. Amen. I love you, and may God bless us all.